Milton Schwartz was a very interesting modernist architect working in Chicago and elsewhere from the 1950s forward. Later in his career, he's best known for buildings like what was once called the Executive House Hotel on Wacker Drive in Chicago, now called Hotel 71, and the Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas. Early in his career, working in Lakeview, Schwartz built one building that was relatively conventional for its age, and then next door and across the street built something that truly is groundbreaking. It's known as 320 Oakdale, starts at the base with a glass-enclosed lobby surrounded by what amount to black stilts, upon which sits this hard-edged, square container with concrete ribs rising all the way to the top. Very distinctive profile, and at the very top, Schwartz was going to live on one side of the floor and his in-laws on the other. The exterior has a hard concrete edge. When you come up here to the 21st floor, the floor that Schwartz was going to live on and relatives were going to live on, you see another side of him. There's a much funkier feel to the flooring. He put teak logs in the hallway, and they used to be surrounded by pebbles as if you were walking down the beach. The pebbles are gone, and now there's a concrete treated to look like pebbles. So you've got that sort of 50s Vegas feeling, and then you come into this living room. Sitting with me here in the living room today is Audrey Schwartz, who is the widow of the man who built the building, also the next door neighbor. She shares this floor with this condo. Audrey, you have a great history with this property that goes back to before the building was even built. You've got a great story about getting engaged on this piece of ground.
Well, I just moved in with my mother. We had no furniture, and I was out with Milt when he proposed, and we were on the lot necking, excuse the expression, and a policeman came up, shined a flashlight in our faces and said, "This is private property and you're not allowed here." And very casually Milt said, "I own it and I am."
Oh, that's terrific. And then you watch him build this very sort of visionary building, a real breakthrough, unlike almost anything else around it. And then many others in the city that have a similar feeling to them. Can you tell me what you think pulls together all of his architecture, what he had going in his buildings?
He had a vision of air and lightness, and I think that's the way he designed his buildings, to emphasize that.
There's a feeling of floating, you were telling me earlier,
right.
And
Yes.
We're floating over the harbors, but there was a floating feeling to the lobby when he first designed it.
Absolutely.
So then you have stayed here. You, of course, have a family tie to the building, but you've stayed here ever since it was built. Why is that? What keeps you here?
It's as contemporary as it was, well, maybe 60 years ago, and it's as anything is today.
What you've got here is 30 feet of glass across the north side with an amazing view, and we'll get to the view again later. You've got glass here looking east out onto a terrace. Across the hall, 2 bedrooms. They have views to the west, also north, and you can see south. They're wrapped with glass exactly as this is. Those 2 bedrooms have 2 bathrooms. They're fitted out with their original furnishings, so one is pink and black and one is blue and yellow, right out of the 50s. You can decide whether you're going to update those or keep them original when you update the kitchen. The kitchen is here behind me. It's internal and it is dated. So what you might do is open some of this up so that when cooking, you can take advantage of this view. Now it's living, sitting, and dining, and by the way, furnished with period-appropriate furnishings so that you really get a feeling what it would have been to be here originally. But you're going to decide what to do with this L, and it really becomes a Z because around the corner there's a small study, and the study and this area I'm in bracket this beautiful terrace that we've got to go see. Out here you've got an oh wow view stretching all the way from, you can see Indiana, but your view really takes in Navy Pier, all the near North Lakefront, North Avenue Beach, all the way up the park to the Belmont Harbor. We've got boats floating beneath us on 2 sides, 2 harbors, Belmont and Diversey. We've got the sky above because of this cutout above the terrace. It really does feel as if we're floating.